We are Southern Colorado.
Good morning and welcome to Fox 21 Morning News. Today is Monday, November 21st, and I'm Austin Sack, filling in for Craig Coffey.
Austin, good to see you. Thanks for being here this morning.
Always.
I'm Abby Burke. Thank you so much for joining us live and local here on the CW as the World Cup coverage kicks off on Fox 21. And our top story this morning, a mass shooting at a local nightclub Saturday night left 5 people dead and 25 others injured.
Yeah, here's what we know. It happened at Club Q, a gay and lesbian nightclub in Colorado Springs, located off North Academy Boulevard near Carefree Circle. It's considered a safe haven for the local LGBTQ community.
But Saturday night, it was anything but. The club was open at the time of the shooting, and police say the suspect entered the building just before midnight with a long rifle and immediately started firing. The suspect was quickly subdued with the help of patrons inside the club, and police took the 22-year-old male into custody minutes later. Police have identified the suspect, but per Fox 21 protocol, we will no longer say his name. For the sake of the victims and survivors, his name and face will not be glorified on Fox 21 News.
And new this morning, we're hearing from the mother of one of the 5 victims of Saturday night's mass shooting.
Sabrina Aston described her 28-year-old transgender son, Daniel, as someone who was eager to make people laugh and cheer. She said it started as a child in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when he would wear elaborate costumes, including the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and write plays acted out by neighborhood kids. After coming out to his mother, Daniel went to college in Oklahoma and became president of its LGBTQ club. He moved to Colorado Springs 2 years ago and started working at Club Q as a bartender and entertainer.
I can't remember when he started at Club Q, but that was the first job he had, and he loved it. He had, did good, and he did what he loved to do, bartending, and then he got to do, shows, put on shows and things like that.
Sabrina said she first heard about the attack and that her son had been shot at 2 a.m. on Sunday. She and her husband Jeff were rushed to the hospital and were eventually put in a private room where detectives asked them questions as authorities worked to identify the bodies. The couple was sent home without any update until a detective and a patient advocate knocked on their door later that morning and confirmed their son Daniel had passed away.
Police say most of the uninjured parties were already reunited with their loved ones as of Sunday. But if you're unable to reach someone you know was at the club Saturday night, you can call CSPD's non-emergency line at 444-7000, and they'll try to help you track them down. The hospitals are also helping to connect families to those injured, and they're still working on notifying loved ones of the deceased.
Now, meanwhile, Club Q responded to the tragedy and posted on their Facebook page saying, quote, "Club Q is devastated by the senseless attack on our community. Our prayers and thoughts are with all the victims and their families and friends. We thank the quick actions of heroic customers that subdued the gunman and ended this hate attack."
Next, Inside Out Youth Services, an LGBTQ organization based in Colorado Springs, says the shooting took place on the evening of Transgender Day of Remembrance, when the LGBTQ community mourns the lives of transgender people who have been killed. They're now calling for Colorado's leaders to step up and condemn this hateful attack and the rhetoric that they say fueled it.
Well, Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers arrived at the scene of the shooting Sunday afternoon. He praised the efforts of law enforcement and the bystanders who stopped the shooter.
We know one or more patrons heroically intervened to subdue the suspect, and we praise those individuals who did so because their actions clearly saved lives.
Mayor Suthers added that the community has shown resilience in the face of hate and violence in the past and said we will do it again.
And meanwhile, Governor Jared Polis ordered flags across the state lowered to honor the victims of the shooting starting at sunrise today.
He also said in a statement, quote, "This is horrific, sickening, and devastating. My heart breaks for the family and friends of those lost, injured, and traumatized in this terrible shooting. I have spoken with Mayor Suthers and clarified that every state resource is available to local law enforcement in Colorado Springs. We are eternally grateful for the brave individuals who blocked the gunman, likely saving lives in the process." and for the first responders who responded so swiftly to this horrific shooting. Colorado stands with our LGBTQ community and everyone impacted by the tragedy as we mourn.
President Biden also issued a statement on the shooting saying, quote, "Jill and I are praying for the families of the 5 people killed in Colorado Springs and for those injured in this senseless attack. While no motive in this attack is yet clear, we know that gun violence has a particular impact on LGBTQI+ communities across our nation." And in response to the shooting, Vitalant sent about 70 additional units of blood to local hospitals. Communications manager Brooke Way says it's the blood on the shelves generously donated in the days and weeks prior that helped save lives in an emergency, and donations are needed every day.
Those who would like to help the victims of the shooting are encouraged to make an appointment to give blood in the coming days and weeks ahead. To make an appointment, doctors can use the Vitalant app, visit vitalant.org, or call 1-877-25-VITAL.
Next, El Paso County Public Health says mental health support and resources are available for community members. The Colorado Crisis Service Hotline can connect you to a crisis counselor or trained professional who will assess risk and determine if a mobile response is necessary. Just call 1-844-493-8255 or text TALK to 38255.
And the Colorado Springs Police Department is hosting a community resource expo to provide support in navigating the variety of emotions surrounding this tragedy.
Yeah, the expos are happening today, tomorrow, and Wednesday from 8 in the morning to 7 p.m. at the UCCS Kevin W. O'Neill Cybersecurity and Research Center. There will be mental health resources, spiritual support, emotional support animals, and financial resources. Again, the event is not open to the media.
In harrowing moments like these, heroes step forward, including a couple who was at the club and helped others around them find safety.
Yeah, Gil Rodriguez and his girlfriend Felicia Huvera showed up at 11 p.m. to support their friend, the DJ, for the night. They were only there for about an hour when the shots rang out. Gil said his military background kicked in as he flipped the table over and shielded his girlfriend.
Both were grazed by gunfire, but they eventually made their way to the exit and helped others find their way out too.
I just wanted to ensure that everyone that was in the dance floor room was getting out of that situation. So I kind of was escorting people out through the back exit to the alley.
I just was holding her hand, making her feel comfort and making sure that, she was knowing someone was with her at that time while he was assisting others.
Gil and Felicia's friend is among the 25 injured, and despite being shot in the appendix, which had to be removed, thankfully she is expected to be okay.
Great news.
Yeah, time right now is 8:09, and the Broncos held a moment of silence Sunday afternoon to honor the victims in Saturday night's deadly mass shooting.
Yeah, on the way in sports, a look at that and highlights from yesterday's overtime loss to the Las Vegas Raiders.